Emily Carter had given 3 years of her life to Whitmore Global, arriving before sunrise and leaving long after the office lights dimmed, and at 29 years old she believed she had finally earned the promotion she'd worked so hard for, the one that would make every sacrifice worth it. So when the billionaire CEO Richard Whitmore gathered the team to announce that the new head of operations would be someone else, a man who had joined the company only 8 months earlier and spent more time golfing with clients than solving real problems, Emily felt the floor disappear beneath her feet, her chest tightening as polite applause filled the room while she sat frozen, smiling out of habit though her heart had cracked in two. And later that evening, alone in her small apartment with a cup of tea gone cold, she didn't cry out of anger but out of quiet exhaustion, the kind that comes from giving everything to a place that never truly saw you. And by morning, she had made her decision, walking into Richard's office not to beg or argue but to hand him a simple white envelope containing her resignation letter saying only, "Thank you for the opportunity, but I think it's time I find a place where hard work is actually seen." And before he could respond, she turned and walked out, leaving him staring at the closed door in stunned silence. Because in 3 years, no one had ever spoken to him with such calm, unshaken dignity. And over the following weeks, Richard found himself distracted, noticing for the first time how many projects had quietly depended on Emily's attention to detail, how client relationships she had nurtured were now slipping through cracks, how the new hire he had promoted couldn't keep pace with problems Emily used to solve before they even became problems. And one evening, reviewing a failed client proposal with her name absent from the credits, something in him shifted, a realization that loyalty and excellence had been standing in his office for 3 years, while he'd been too distracted, chasing flashy credentials to notice. So he did something he had never done in his career. He got in his car and drove to the small coffee shop where a friend mentioned Emily now worked part-time while job hunting, and when he walked in and saw her behind the counter, tying an apron with the same quiet grace she once brought to boardrooms, he felt a wave of humility wash over him, waiting until her shift ended to approach her outside, where he said simply, "I made a mistake, Emily, the biggest one of my career, and I'm not here to offer you your old position back. I'm here to ask if you'd be willing to help me rebuild this company the right way, as my partner in operations, with the title, the respect, and the trust you should have had from the very beginning." And Emily stood silent for a long moment, searching his face for sincerity, and finding it, she finally said, "I didn't leave because I wanted revenge. Richard, I left because I wanted to matter. And if you're offering me a place where I truly matter, then yes, I'll come back." And 6 months later, Whitmore Global was thriving again, not because of a fancy new hire or flashy strategy, but because its CEO had finally learned that true leadership means recognizing the people who show up every single day with quiet dedication. And Emily, now head of operations and a trusted partner in every major decision, often told new employees that sometimes walking away isn't giving up. It's choosing to believe you deserve better. And that belief alone can change everything. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Kindness True Stories for more inspiring tales of loyalty, courage, and second chances.